Some meditation that you can develop sati without meditation, sitting or without concentration.
Yes, I mean that's how you develop sati, when you're not in meditation. By being aware of what you're doing, noting. Yes, and that once you note it, I mean, and Alex and Richard is doing it. I mean, they see all the moments they are not attentive, where they're not, and that's the only reason. I mean, once you can do it, I mean, you can leave it out. But of course, I mean, Buddha just, replacing every thought with Buddha, I mean, it's a headache. Yeah. It's worse than hell. No. No, I mean, if you do that outside, then you don't have the parikama. No, it doesn't work. So you're just noting and making, step, foot up, foot down and things like that. And out. And then become aware, once you become aware of your intention before you do something, especially when you talk to each other. I mean, that means, when your sati is okay. You know what you want to say, and I mean, before you open your mouth now. That's when your sati is okay, and then you can switch back to the parikama. But you will see a lot of things. I mean, the parikama, I mean, yes, it works just the same way. But, I mean, I have the impression that, the parikama is somewhere in the background, and all the other things are...
That's why I realized that in many moments in the day, I thought I had Buddha, but Buddha is too much in background, and with the noting, you cannot be in background with the noting,
no.
So but before I didn't have sati, now I have sati with the noting, even if it's a gross sati.
Doesn't matter.
But you realize that before you thought you had sati with Buddha, but no, it was in the background. There was still a lot of thought and a lot of moments.
That's why
it really works.
It does work, I mean, Mahasi Sayadaw direction, is really keen on that noting.
Yes,
and that's yes.
Just do this.
Yeah, but we don't do that noting in meditation. That's a difference. Because then it becomes really a headache. In meditation, when we do sitting meditation or walking meditation, we don't do it. But we do it, in all the other things. The moment we get up from our sitting meditation, then. And then, if you have that sati, reflect. Why do I want to get up? What do I want to do now, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I just can sit down. Yeah. The kilesas have already made the plan, and you weren't aware of the plan. And that's why,
And also I found that the noting itself become more and more subtle. At the beginning, you just open the door, and then you start feeling your fingers, and you start starting to become subtle.
Yes, and that's, I mean, that's where it should go. It's also for you. Advice.
Did Longta teach this to people with not good sati?
No, I mean, I haven't heard about it.
Why did you why did you learn it?
I mean, in my first meditation from my first teacher. It's a Mahasi Sayadaw style. I mean, don't forget, Longta, only had advanced pupils.
Okay.
He had never, beginners wouldn't just go to Longta. I mean, it was too difficult.
He would kick them out, or just because of the parami
they didn't have the parami, and even if they would stay there, I mean, they wouldn't. I mean, they couldn't deal with this freeness. I mean, that's why Lungta Mahaprabhu always compared, Wat Papantak to the forest university. I mean, somebody who cannot deal with the freedom of a university. I mean, who needs still, the schoolmaster, to tell him what to do and how to do and how long to do it, But university, I mean, just gives you the subject and you are on your own. So that's why Wat Papantat was the university, and it's not that, But, I mean, not everybody is ready to go to the university yet, so I mean, some of it, if our sati is not strong enough.
Like the sermons that I listen to,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand it. So
No.
they don't
Yeah.
like it, but like some
Yeah.
people like, oh.
I mean, it's very few. I mean, it's actually. I mean, once the king or the Sangaraja asked him, to open a meditation center in Pantak for all the people. He said, no, my teaching is only for a few. I mean that teaching won't hold up.
So he has teaching for everyone, like for lay people, but generosity
Yeah,
for few.
that's okay.
Meditation is more.
I mean, it's also for lay people, I mean, it's the teaching of what is it? Tuttiyam. I mean that is also for advanced lay people, lay people who have practiced in their previous life. So, I mean, he says, there's a general teaching, the general teaching of Sila and Samadhi, for the public. That's more Geng Mo Yai. And then he says, then there's a small pot, and that is for people who practice, that be lay people or monks, and then there's the really one, that's the condensed one, and that is only for monks.
In his talks, he seems to go through the whole path. He always gets to the...
No, not always. No.
The ones that we...
Yes.
Because they are for monks as well.
Yes, they are for monks. I mean, he does, I mean, but he doesn't go always from the beginning to the end. No.
So
but he always...
generosity in the process.
No.
He gets to the end.
Not. He just sometimes stops at Anagami, and sometimes. I mean, he mentioned it always. It's our aim, to get freedom from dukkha. But we so much cherish dukkha, then we embrace it, dukkha, because that's how we feel alive. If there wouldn't be any dukkha, we wouldn't feel alive. Huh? We want to do this. The moment we investigate wanting, we see it's dukkha. And that is helpful, when you start doing the noting practice, and I really advise it, when you lift your arm, I mean, note that I'm lifting my arm, and then you can ask yourself, why do I lift my arm? Because then sati is already there. Why do I need that? Why do I need to drink now? Why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do that? And then when you think, it's okay, then go on. But there you will understand, in time. The longer you do it, the more you will understand the power of the kilesas, who just... Because out of nervousness, out of restlessness, out of boredom, they drive you on. And it's dukkha. It's really dukkha. I mean, whatever you look, I mean, because it's dukkha, the kilesas suggest something, I will feel happy if I have this or have that or do this or do that. And if you're really good with your sati, if you use the noting, or if you really have good sati, and then you do this, and then you investigate them, and then you see, they just lie to you. Because you are not happy just because you do it. Happiness doesn't arise, happiness only arises with a heart that is calm. Or happiness, a certain kind of happiness arises when we give in to the greed or when we give in to the anger. Because it seems to be this big anger or the big greed, seems to be stopped for a moment. And then we think this is happiness. But the true happiness arises within our heart. So if you don't give in, of course, they will boil us up, So that's why we give in. Just think about it, you sit 2 hours, you sit comfortable and your mind is quite calm, and then suddenly, you get up. And when you then decide, why do I get up? There's nothing else that I can do. So Just go on sitting, and then you will see the power of kilesas. Huh? I mean, this restlessness can be excruciating pain. When you go against the wishes of the kilesas, that's when they make you really, really create a lot of pain for you. Just see the power. I mean, that's why I like to compare it, to a ruler. You're the subject of a ruler. I mean, as long as you do what he says, he leaves you unharmed. The moment you don't do what he commands you to do, then he puts you into prison. If you don't, and if you don't obey him, then he puts you into pain. Avijja has been the ruler for such a long time. So, that's why we are accustomed to, and we think even, this ruler is us. But there's something else within us, and another voice says, that's not good what I'm doing, what am I doing now? Huh? If there would be only the ruler, we wouldn't be aware, what is good. But we are neither the ruler, nor are we the Dhamma. We're just observing, either one. And in the beginning of our practice, we just develop goodness, to bring up the light, more and more and more. But for this, to bring up the line, to be good, to behave well, we have to have some sati. Basic sati in the beginning, and then refine sati, and then refine it, and refine it, and refine it, until we are aware of any kind of intention. The intention is the thing that creates karma. It's not our doing itself that creates karma. An arahant still does things, but he doesn't create karma because he has no intention. He has neither good intentions nor does he have bad intention. He has just no intention. He is just doing. But with every action that we do, we have the intention that creates karma. Is our intention good? It creates good karma. Is our intention bad? It creates bad karma. And sometimes we think our intention is good, but the true intention is bad. Because we don't even question ourselves. The life of a practitioner is, to instantly question his whole life, every aspect of his life. Whatever he has done, he has to reinvestigate. That even, going to, putting on your shoes, the way you walk. You have to investigate it. Don't leave anything in the open. Don't leave anything, like you did it 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Everything that what you do, you have to question. Why I'm doing it like this? Why am and then feel it. Yeah? If it feels pleasant, okay, then continue doing it. But not, if it's not, and you will see a lot of things that you're doing, bring unpleasant results. Really unpleasant results. But we don't know. Because we do not investigate them. We do not have enough sati. So in that way, where this noting of what you're doing, should really help. In 2 or 3 months, you will see. No? Wow. So many things that you haven't seen. What am I doing? In the end you ask, what the hell is going on? Yeah? Who tells me to do this? Who tells me to do that? Because then you will see clearer and clearer and clearer. And then, then you might have the energy, to pick a fight. Pick a fight with the person, or with this instant that tells you what to do. And once you pick a fight, it will really, the dukkha will gradually go down. Because you're not going to do something that is harmful to you, or that creates unpleasant results. But if you think, I've drinking all my life, so what's wrong with that? Huh? Then, you will never see the kilesas that are hidden in this kind of action. Or when you go to the toilet, you will never see the kilesas. When you take a bath, you will never see. When you eat, you will never see. When you walk, you will never see. So, that's why we do have to investigate every every tiny aspect of our life, how we live, how we behave, how we walk, how we talk. And talking is especially important. Before we even talk to somebody, hey, what I'm going to talk about, do I think that it's really valuable? Or do I want to push myself in front? Why do I want to say it? And then if you still think that you say it, then feel the results of your action. There's the intention, there's the action, be it bodily action or thought action or speech action. And then there will be the result. You instantly will feel, if you have enough sati, that wasn't good. Or you will see, just talking, for 5 minutes will upset you, or, will create this emotion and that emotion within you. And the thoughts, especially when you get letters, that is quite disturbing. From your close friends and from your family. This is disturbing. It will disturb you for days. You're looking for, they accuse you of this or that, or they say this or that. And, all these arguments are coming up why it's not like this. Then ask yourself, what the hell am I defending? Whom am I defending? All what is happening there is the defending of the kilesas that has the sense of self. So whenever you defend, you defend your idea that how you are. And that's where it goes wrong. The more we defend it, and the more and the stronger or the more vehement we defend it, the stronger is our idea of self. So you can see it very quickly. If somebody says something about you, you will see instantly your reaction. And then you know how strong your ego is. If you get angry, if you get pissed, if you try to to rectify yourself, or try to find reasons for it, why you did it this way. That shows, these kind of things show us, the power of the self. And the less we create this, the less we think, I'm like this, I'm like that, Because then you see, if somebody else says, you're not like this, not like the way you think you are, instantly, your defense is rushing up front, ready to fight a battle. What does it matter? It's neither you, neither it's this you, neither it's that you. All what there is, all what we are developing very, very deeply is the one that knows. This thing arises, this thing ceases, that thing arises, this thing ceases. With an objectivity. It's neither good nor bad. But we think it's good or we think it's bad. And that's why we get into trouble. Some works we don't like. Once you get, down to have a sati, then just compare the work of your, scrubbing the sala, with walking chongkrom, or eating, with cleaning this or cleaning that, or washing your laundry. And you will actually see it's all the same. Everything is the same. That's quite interesting. That's quite some insight. All the actions, we call it so many different names. Something we call eating, something we call this, we call it that, we call it that. And then, once you know the movement of your body, it's all movement of body. You lift your arm, you put it down. You lift your arm, you put it down. You do the same thing when you're washing clothes. So what's the difference? And then, the more we do it, the more we see it, the more. Where's the fun in this life? It's always the same thing. It's extremely boring. But because we give it so many different names, that's why it becomes interesting. Oh, I go mountain climbing. Oh, I go jogging. Oh, I do this. Oh, I do this. But actually it comes all down to the same thing. I mean, concerning the body. But we don't get it, as long as we think we are doing this and doing that and never investigate. What is it? What is it? Pull it down, dissect it, put it into the basic things. Just like drinking water. I mean, just take some simple examples, Try to note everything, but take some simple examples and really break them down. And next time you wash your clothes, break it down, into the simple things. Simple movements. And then break down, drinking something into simple movements. Break down, eating something into simple movements. Be as detailed as possible, and then compare them. That's why we have our memory for, to compare it, Most of the time we just use our memory, to memorize, pleasant situations. When you see yourself doing it, then look at and correct the memory. Look at, not only at this memory, but at the time around this memory. And then you will see, of this pleasant idea that you had within your memory, there are so many hundreds of unpleasant moments around this memory. So, that you see, the memory that came up, is distorted. Of course it is distorted by the kilesas, to bring up, to fool us around. To fool us, and believing this was great. My meditation was better at home. Well, then have a look. The home, there's so much to come. But if you don't investigate these things, we will never be able to see. We always think, yes, that's the way. But who tells us that? It's the kilesas who tell us this. Yeah, in the past it was better. It was always better in the past. Because, of course it was better in the past, because our memory is selective. We just blend out all these unhappy moments. We can also go back into our memory, and then bring up some unpleasant situation, and then see, what was actually happening there. And then we see, not only there were unpleasant things, there were also some pleasant things. So our memory is selective. Our thought process is selective. Get down, investigate these things. There's nothing that you should not investigate. Everything, that has to do with your body, with your ego, or with your nama khandha. Memory, thought. Why do I think this way? I thought that, I'm sick of thinking like this. Tell yourself, see it, it's really bothersome, always to think around in circles. But we don't see it, we think we have to think about it. We have to think about it. And then ask yourself, what is this thinking helping? How does it help me? How does it help me to go on? Does it solve the problem, the thinking? There's no problem solved with thinking. There's only problem solved with action. Either saying a word, or doing some action. And if we think, we can solve this problem like this and like that, and then we come in this situation, but the situation in our memory, or when we thought it was different, than the situation that is now, so all our actions will be wrong. So live in the present moment. Get that idea, what is happening right now at that moment, and then instantly, then devise a good plan, to get rid of the problem. There's always one good solution to this problem. But if you are not open-minded, if you think about it in the past, what we are going to do in the future that might not have happened, or that might not happen, we are never living in the present moment. It's a joy to live in the present moment. Everything is fresh. You see things. Wow. When you come and see your parents, or when you come and see your mother or your father, you're put into a situation. You see them as you have seen them through memory. Get rid of the memory. Just see them as persons. And you will see other sides of them. And you will even understand them. But because we see our friends or our relatives and our family, we just see them through glasses, through glasses of our memory. It's always, they have always reacted like that. So that's certainly not practice. That's certainly not freshness of the situation. It can be anybody. If you meet a stranger for the first time, we are open-minded because we don't know this person. And then, after meeting him a few times, we have certain ideas about him. And these certain ideas, shape our action. So, if it's like this, for other people, how must it be for ourselves? We have so many ideas. That's so difficult. I can't do that. Who tells you can't do that? Having no ideas about yourself, seeing every moment fresh, that's where you can start to live. To be alive. Otherwise, it's just a program running off. Program running off the screen, without the situation. It has a trick. If the situation like this, then I react like that. If the situation, you're conditioned. You're not living. You're just a machine. So, start to live, be alive. Alive means fresh. Everything is new. Even if you see the tree for the millionth of time, it's still fresh. It's new. If you see that person for a millionth time, see them as they are. Don't see them through your memories. Memories is the thing that really colors our vision. That makes us doing so stupid things. And especially with friends or relatives or our family. We see them through that, because we know them from childhood on. And then we think they are like this, and that's why we are stuck in this pattern. We don't get out. The moment when we reject it, okay, let's see what is happening right now at the moment. How do I feel at the moment? What is this person wanting? Just be open-minded. Don't think he's like this, he wants to do some bad on me, or he always bullies me, then you're wrong. All your actions will be wrong. All your actions will create just the karma that you have been creating in the past. So there is no change. Just be open-minded, Just try to be open-minded. And we have to have sati for this. It's impossible without sati, to go. Why do we want to do that? First of all, we don't want to be robots. We don't like dukkha. So we want to get to the end of dukkha. Nobody of us, wants to go to hell. Or is there somebody who really wants to go to hell? I doubt there is. Remember, why do we practice? We're practicing for only one reason, to overcome dukkha. Not to be born in hell, it's the first step. The second step, not to be returning. And the third step is never ever to come back again, to finish our work, and reach the ultimate, the supreme happiness. Where there is a will, there is a way. That's at least what we say. And as long as we have a will, we can create this way. And we should not create the way, to live in the world. We should create the way, to get out of this world. Because this world is nothing than dukkha. But we haven't seen it yet. That's why we have to have sati. The moment we have sati, we see, there is dukkha. And the more sati we have, we are overwhelmed by the dukkha we have. Dukkha is the first noble truth. Never forget it. Dukkha is the ancient. It's for most of us is the ancient. For some it is anicca. That all these things, that they create, maybe they are creating beautiful things, and they see, whatever created, it's all gone. It all goes, If I create pastries, I'm gone in 2 days, Wow. And how much work do I invest in it? And it's all gone. And there's nothing stable. Then look around, the trees, they're growing and then they die, and the houses, we build them, and then they decay. And then there's nothing of our work, All our work, is so meaningless in this world. We gather money, money is just a number on a paper now. In the old days it used to be gold or silver, that was some weight to it, and you can store it. But now it's only just numbers on papers, in your bank books and in whatever it is. Sometimes you don't even know the numbers, but you just have a plastic card. You put it in, and you can buy this and can buy that. And then when you die, can you take this plastic card with you? Can you take the money with you? Can you take the house with you? Can you take the family with you, or the children that you have? All the things that you have done? Can you take them with you? So, when you reflect about anicca, what is lasting in this? Your emotions aren't lasting, your feelings aren't lasting, your thoughts aren't lasting. They're all anicca. Memories aren't lasting. Even consciousness is not lasting. But probably it's difficult for you to see that there are times of unconsciousness. Just like, it is difficult for us to see, that there are moving pictures, that there is one frame and then there's a second frame. Between the first frame and the second frame there's a small gap. They play it so fast that we can't see it. So our mind is playing, the moments of consciousness so fast that we can't see that there are gaps in between. And when there's a gap, it is like this whole universe doesn't exist. And then the next moment this universe exists. And then it doesn't exist. Then it exists again. And then it doesn't exist. And each moment is just a picture. And because, just like we make a meaning to the life by combining all these pictures in a moving picture, that was a funny movie, that was a horror movie, that was comedy and things like that. Or there was just a report. Just by interpreting these pictures. And nothing else, it's this world, One moment of consciousness, that is just a picture of a moment of this world. And then the next picture of the moment of the world. And then the next picture. They are completely unrelated to each other, but, we put a relation into it. Just like we think, when we see a picture of a point, always at different places, we think it moves. And with this idea, we create all these things. And nothing of it is lasting. So that can lead us, to some some strength, to fight this, we want to overcome this anicca. We want to overcome this dukkha. And we don't want to be associated with all this. We want to stop this game. The game of life, that has gone on, for this life, for so many lives, for so many billions and billions of lives. But it's just like, in the computer age, people are getting addicted to these games, They can't stop. They forget even eating, and they die on the computer board. One game is over, the next game. Just look at it. And then we put in another coin and play the next game. Then we put in another coin and play the next game. If you don't have, if you don't have a coin to play the next game, we suffer in hell. I want. Our craving is too big. So anicca and dukkha, reflection about it, It's advisable. But most of us, we come because we are dissatisfied. Yeah, we're just dissatisfied. We don't have pain or suffering. Pain and suffering is rarely, appears rarely. People who are really suffering, they can't find a way out of the suffering because they are so attached to their suffering. Just this dukkha, just this restlessness, just this boredom, just this disease, just this discomfort, that gives our body and all these mental faculties, that produce all this dukkha. Where's the fun of this life? Think about it. Think about it clearly. Think about it. Do you want to get out of this? Or do you want to be born again? Go through school. Go through your childhood. Go through puberty. Do you want to do that again? And again, and again, and again, and again, without end? Yes, we want. But we want to change it to the better. And we believe our kilesa says, tomorrow it will be better. Next month it will be better. Next life it will be better. And when we are in the next life, it's just the same as this life. It's not good. You have dukkha. So the kilesas tell us, okay, next life it will be better. And we are fooled by this. We are deceived by this. And we believe it and believe it because we really want to believe it. We want to believe it that tomorrow is better. That's why we go for it. So remember this. Do remember this. Sometimes. Reflect. When you're born, you lie on your back, and there's some wanting, but you cannot express it. You can't even move this body. You have to learn it. You have to learn how to move the body. You feel uncomfortable. The only thing that you know is so that your mother comes or your father comes and puts you into a comfortable position. And you have to do that again. How many times do you want to do it? Ask yourself really seriously. How many times do you still want to be reborn? If not, let's find some courage to fight against this oppressor, or who's a vicha. A fight is always painful. If you drag out the fight, it's painful for a long time. If you shorten the fight, it's very painful or extreme painful, but for a short time. So if you press down, with the Buddha, it's painful, extremely painful for a short time, and then you will be relieved to get samadhi, to end in the state of calm. If you drag it out for years and years and years, it's long time painful. Now pleasant. Well, what is this side? It means, it's dukkha. It's so difficult, I can't do it, Of course the kilesas cannot do it. Said, okay, you don't need to do it, I'll do it. Yeah, people have some wits, don't always, don't always cave in, don't always give up, there's something, the kilesas are not you. The voice that tells you, what you can and what you can't, it's not you. If you set your mind up, you can do anything. If you set your mind up to fly, you can fly. But it's a tough training. That's saying, other people, let's talk in the way of the world. If I set up to become an engineer, I can do it. Doesn't mean that I will become the best engineer. That's maybe not possible in this life. But, at least I can do it. I can set up to become a cook. I can set up myself to become a carpenter. But even in the world, this kind of training takes time. And it goes through a lot of painful processes. You start up thinking, you want to be a carpenter and design houses or design cupboards and whatever it is, or furniture, But, then you're standing in front of a piece of wood and then you see it's really hard work, to transform that piece of wood into the idea that we have it should look like. So don't get discouraged. There's nothing hard and there's nothing easy. The things are just there. And that comes, it becomes extremely clear when we note every kind of movement that we make, note any kind of intention that we will see. Attention is just an intention. Our movement is just a movement, and there's nothing difficult and there's nothing easy. A movement is just a movement. So be aware of it, and things become easier. Don't attach yourself to this voice, and that tells you. I can't do it. I'm not up to this level. If you're not up to this level, you wouldn't be here. You understand that? You wouldn't be here and you wouldn't be listening if you're not up to this level. Think about it. What do I want to do with my life? Do I want to go to a safe place? That means a lot of work. And it's not only a lot of work, a lot of concentration and a lot of perseverance and a lot of, taking up dukkha. The dukkha is not you. The dukkha is created by the kilesas, but you can't see that at the moment. You will see it and understand it later. Dukkha, what is dukkha? Then investigate if you have dukkha. What is dukkha? It's a feeling. How does this feeling, differentiate itself from other feelings? Start investigating these things. As I said, in the beginning, and don't leave anything uninvestigated. Don't take anything for granted. You understand that? Take that to heart. Don't take anything for granted. What you do, what you think, and what you talk. Don't take anything for granted. Everything that you need. Everything that you take for granted, that's where the kilesa is hiding behind. That's where the danger lurks. The kilesas can only exist in the dark. And the moment we shine some light on it, on any kind of movement, they cannot hide between. They tell this movement is difficult. The moment we do it with sati, we see, it's not difficult. So they lie to us. They can only hide, the moment we have no sati, the moment we don't shine light on it. That's why I said, we have to reinvestigate our whole life, every aspect of it. The more detailed, the better. Then they don't have the chance to hide in between and tell us all these things that we still believe. We are so prone to believe all these lies. Never forget. Even if you work, if you work, constant work, becoming a monk now, so you do your meditation practice, you do the core what, the duties as a monk. Don't forget that you have the aim, to overcome dukkha. That's why you came in the first place. We are dissatisfied, we are looking for a way out, Don't stop, unless don't stop in this life unless you have really caught the way out. And the way out, starts with sotapanna, with stream entry. Some people can reach it in this life. But if you really want to, you can do it. There's nothing that we cannot do. But of course, for some people it will be more difficult, for other people it will be less difficult. For some people it will be slower, for other people it will be faster. So don't count on it, that you have to reach it within 3 months or 3 years, because that might not be able. You might not be able to do it. The more sati you have, the faster things go. The more you see it, the more you clearly understand what is going on. It's always. That is the one speeding up, and that is the most difficult thing to develop, because we really have to what is going on, even if you want to move, even if you stretch your back, you have to be aware of it. Now I'm stretching my back. Why do I stretch my back? Or why do I, let myself go? Be aware of the feeling. Be aware of the intention. Be aware of what caused the intention. Be aware of that. That is the power of sati that shows us, the connectedness. That there was actually dukkha that we have never ever realized, in our whole life. I do this because of dukkha. I do it because I don't feel comfortable. I do it because this and this and this and this. And when I do this, what I thought, I always had a good result. Actually shows me now with my sati, it doesn't have a good result. So let's stop it. Now, okay? Understand this? Take what I said today. Please take it to heart. Yeah? Don't slacken up your sati. Yeah? Use this. If you still need it, use this noting method. Huh? Being aware of what you're doing, and especially, you should be able to be able, to see yourself talking, to actually know yourself with sati that you're talking, and what you're talking and why you're talking at the same time. And then your sati is up to date. Then you can deal with most of the problems. But speaking, is a difficult thing. Hearing is the same thing. When you hear somebody speaking, it all goes in the wrong thing. It all goes, it goes out in the number crunching processor, that compares things, and makes up things. Never goes in our heart. We don't listen with our heart. That's why so many misunderstandings, so many fights, because we don't listen. We really don't listen. Because we are not even aware that we are here. This number cruncher, goes on, or the CPU goes on, or the computer goes on, it's there 24 hours a day. So take hold of it. Be aware of what you want, if you want the way out of dukkha, set your mind on it, and then don't think of anything being difficult. Okay. With this I end the talk. Please take it to heart. Sometimes lose the oversight. Why we are here. We just see all these difficulties and we lose. We lose the goal, we lose the aim. You understood? Yeah. There's nothing difficult in this world. Nothing. It's only our mind that tells us something is difficult. But just look at it. Okay. It's all movement. Moving your legs, moving your hands, moving your eyes, perceiving. It's always the same thing. What do we perceive? What do we see with our eyes? Yes.
When we eat, there is what is important. We don't focus on the movement, but there is everything happening.
The taste.
And the taste.
Yeah,
that makes the experience quite different.
Yes. Yeah. And it's the same as drinking. Yeah? But when you taste, when you have sati with taste, there's just taste. Mm-hmm. There's no attachment. So it's movement, because you chew it. Huh? And then you swallow it. And then there's the movement of the food inside. And there's feeling. Yeah? It's a feeling. Yeah? It becomes so blunt. It becomes so boring.
Is it okay that right now, because I'm trying to be much more aware, like if you talk about chewing or anything else, it's like, for me, I separate it as the physical and you want to talk, when we talk to the physical, or like it was very hot, okay, the physical that's hot is is that the thing, or like
yes, if you have sati, then there is no dukkha. Yeah. But if you attach to this, if you don't like heat, if you don't like this kind of food, if you like this kind of food, then there's dukkha, and that is also in the child. That's also in the heart.
Is it correct to kind of like separate the chop orไม่ชอบคือthe chop is the ใจ so
Yeah.
actually no chop or ไม่ชอบ it's just the
Yeah.
chewing.
Yes, that is what is sati. Sati, just separates it out. Sati sees the feeling. It just sees the feeling, but it doesn't put a label on it. That's nice or that's not nice. That's what I want. It's not what I know. But if you can do that with food, your sati is really up to the task. If you can do that with eating, when you see that, if you clearly see it, it's just eating. It's just putting something in the mouth. It's just tasting. And there's no chop and there's no my chop. There's no likes and there's no dislikes with it. Then your sati is really up to the speed. And then you don't have to note anymore.
This is why I really struggle with this with eating, because I know it will spoil it.
Yes.
I enjoy this.
Yes, and that's exactly, everywhere where you think it's fun, you will see this noting spoils everything.
That's what makes it difficult.
That's why it's so difficult. That's why it gives us a headache, Because, the kilesas hate it if you look on their hands what they are doing. They hate it, they're extremely against it. And they tell you, it spoils everything, you can't, it's not worthwhile doing it because, and they give you so many reasons for it. But when you see it, okay.
Maybe this is why it's easier to deal with the painful things and the horrible things, because I don't want to really experience that.
Yes. But even then they will make it difficult. You will see it. They will make it difficult because they know. The moment you investigate, there's nothing in it. There's nothing of pain in it. That's why they don't let you investigate.
But they do let you a little bit more than with the...
Yes,
nice
because they also don't like, unpleasant things. That's why we start with body investigation of Asupha. We don't start with Supha, because we're taking away. If you listen to my talks before, I said, it's so easy, the moment you start trying to investigate a pleasant feeling, you're already taken away. In your meditation, you will see that, you will constantly see it. If a pleasant feeling arises, you instantly grab hold of it. Oh, my meditation was so beautiful. But the moment you grab it, you're gone. You're not meditating anymore. And an unpleasant feeling, we say, we become more and more mindful, or then we stop, So it's always easier to investigate unpleasant feelings there, and that's where we learn the techniques with unpleasant feelings. So then eat, when you eat, then eat food that is unpleasant. For you.
I'm trying to look at the downside of eating the nice food, because I eat too much and it doesn't actually...
No, that's it. That's playing with the mind. Yes, you can see it one time, but no, eat the food that you don't like.
It's not really...
Well, then eat just a plain rice. Yeah, yes, that's... And deal with it, then, food, is a long time, also deal with it, once you've eaten, then, before you start eating, before you do the reflection of the food, look at the stomach, look how hungry you are. Sometimes we are not really hungry, but then the amount we eat, is enormous. Because we are afraid, and we don't see that fear coming up. Maybe in the afternoon I'm hungry. And that's why we eat more.
I'm like, I can't eat very much. I haven't been eating a lot, but my thought is, the months they can go without days. So even this little food is probably more than enough, because you go without days of food.
No, but don't. No. Eat enough. No. Sometimes you have to force yourself also. When it's not enough. But then eat things, that gives you the energy. And things that are not so difficult to digest. So eat the white rice. You don't have to eat the sticky rice. But eat enough, so it makes it easier in the afternoon or evening, then you can meditate longer and then you don't get so easily tired. But investigate it. Yeah, food is a big topic. Yeah. Be it the food, here in the morning or the food in the afternoon. The what is it called? The medicines in the afternoon. Yeah.
Tonic.